used Merlin engines. Put the 4 Merlin engines on, extended the wings, took the central fin out, test flew it, and the air ministry thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. You could have as many as you like. And they built about 7,400 of these during the war, and at the moment there's only 2 of them in the world that are still flying. This one and the Canadian one that came here last year. Vera, as she was called. The code letters on the side was VRA, hence she got it as Vera. The Canadians didn't like it at first, but by the time they got out after 6 weeks of hearing about Vera, they were well used to it. And now on their website, every time they put a little bit on it, it's VRA in capitals and the E's in lowercase. So the Lancaster itself, 102 feet across the wings, 69.5 feet long, 20 foot up to the top of the canopy, and the bomb bay where the doors are open there is 33 foot long, and she will carry anything up to 10 ton in weight of bomb. It's quite a lot, and the 10 ton in bombs was just one big bomb, which we'll see when we go. She's got a crew of 7. Pilot sits up this side, just above those bomb symbols. Only one pilot, only one set of controls in the wartime Lancasters. The other side of the cockpit is where the flight engineer sits. He sits on a little drop-down dicky seat that's hinged back. His job is looking after all the equipment down the side of the cockpit, so he's pretty well most of the flight he's on his feet, walking backwards and forwards. Behind the pilot, just under the fuselage there, is where the navigator sits. And behind there is the radio operator. So we've got 4 up in that top little bit there. Bomb aimer's in the front. He doubles as a front gunner if it's necessary. Not very often they fired big guns on the Lancasters, unless it was absolutely necessary, because the gun flashes would give the position away at night time. On the dams raid, they did take an 8th person and he was solely a front gunner, because on the dams they got the flak turrets down there, so that was what was occupying those. Only the pilot, let's say, the whole crew is the one that wears his parachute all the while. He sits on that, that's his cushion in the seat. The others have got the harnesses on the flying suits and they have chest parachutes. But they have to hang them up at various stations on the airport where they are in the airplane where they're working on that. So if they have to bail out, pilot 9 times 10 is the last one to leave the aircraft. He tries to hold it as steady as he can while the other 6 get out. 4 of them, 3 at the top, 1 at the front have the chest parachute on. The bomb aimer, he pulls out that little panel under the nose, which is where they jump out. Climb down the steps to the side and hopefully get out, and then the pilot follows them on that. They've got about 10 seconds to do that if the plane's going down rather steeply, before the centrifugal force gets hold of them, pins them against the bulkheads. One bomber pilot escaped from his aircraft. He'd done the similar thing, allowed his crew to get out, undone his seatbelt, and was taken straight out of his seat against the top of the canopy. And he said he was pinned there, he couldn't move. The next thing, everything was quiet and outside. So the perspex must have broke, and he'd gone out, and he fortunately survived. To go and fight the Japanese out in the Far East and Southeast Asia. Modified radiators onto her, but before she was sent out, the Japanese dropped the Americans dropped the atom bomb on Japan. Japan was out of the war. So back into storage she went. Then the French came along, they wanted aircraft to go and do some photography over the African continent. So she was stripped of a turret, painted white, and spent 4 years out in Africa. When she came back, she was used as a flying test bed. They even put a jet fighter wing sticking up vertically over the top of the fuselage on that. And eventually she came to the end of her life, and it was either this one or another Lancaster that had seen war service as to which one would go into Hendon Museum. The RAF Museum there. 44 Squadron. And then landed in the front. say something about when I said about the bomb load, one of my colleagues had a couple of American fellows in his party. He said about them carrying a 10-ton bomb. And one of the chaps asked how the Lancaster compared to the B-17 rotor rotor.
You've got on a mark on door, isn't it, Robert?
Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
In what ways? This one will carry as much as the 250. And I thought, well, when you spoke, I went, let's say it. Anyhow, you can see and get a good idea now of how big this aircraft is across the wings. It's enormous.
Massive, isn't it, Robert?
So there's ended up in top position. If he has to bail out, he's got to get down from there. All he's sitting on is a little canvas hammock type seat. He gets down, puts his parachute on, goes out the side door where those steps are there. He has to make sure he dives out. If he jumps, he'll end up on the tailplane. It's a very low door. I think they made it low so you'd have to stoop down to go out. And then you've got the rear gunner, tail end Charlie. That's his well. All the flight is in that little bit. His seat is about that level. It's on a little bit longer than my book, about that width. There's a door there and on the other side which slides behind him. That's his backrest. He's on a little cushion, sitting vertically. His feet are down into the well down to about this height, so his knees are stuck up in the air. And he's in there anything up to 10 hours. He doesn't get out of that. You say he has this thick padded suit which is electrically heated. So he slides himself in, shuts the doors, puts his seat belt on, he puts his 3 connections in, his oxygen, radio and this heated suit. And so he's in there anything up to 10 hours. If they went on a mission to bomb Italy, they would drop the bombs in Italy and then carry on to North Africa because they wouldn't have enough fuel to get back. They'd refuel in North Africa, load up with a few more bombs and drop them on the way back on.
Swallow. it's attached, yeah.